RSL Nation!
What's
What
up?
what is good? What is good, everybody?
What is good? That is a great question. I think maybe Shakespeare asked that once. He
I'm
probably
sure
did,
he did
He probably did.
sometime.
and his answer would have been RSL.
He said MLS playoffs are right around the corner. That's what's good.
Oh, okay, that is what's good. Um,
Interesting.
what's good is that MLS lost the Campeones Cup. Is that good?
I think it's neutral.
All
And
right.
what's good is Casey, I guess, is putting up a fight.
Is that
That
good?
we'll discuss all of this in this episode. Guys,
Wow,
welcome.
what an episode.
This is gonna be a great one. Um, Welcome back, everyone. Somehow I feel like it's been a really long time, but
It
it's only
feels
been
like
a
it.
week. That's because we recorded really early last week.
And there have been two games since, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had a
that's a
Wednesday, Saturday.
I was by myself at one of the games. That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Those that was let's just say last week was just wild. Um, and that's why we're here. We're here. All three of us are here again. Marcos, we're glad you made it on time. Marcos was gonna run late. He decided to cut his high school game short and said, "Screw you guys, I'm gonna go record."
Yeah. Thank you to the team that I was reffing tonight that they actually know how to score goals and there was no overtime, so I'm glad.
I was
Good.
gonna
Yeah.
say, wait, Marcos did not officially cut a game short to go to his podcast.
Can you imagine?
I'm stopping the game. I got an emergency.
Yep. Everyone, stop. It's recording time.
It's been 24 minutes. We're done. You weren't gonna win anyway.
Exactly. Um, but hey, I'm glad we're all here again because we have a lot to. There is a lot to talk about. Because two games happened. We're coming down to the wire. There are some topics that we want to talk on. Well, we want to touch on, talk about, because there's a lot of still loose ideas, loose thoughts going around in RSL Nation. A lot of you guys have questions that we're gonna try to answer, and I think we're gonna try to answer all of them. I was going over the questions with Christian. I was like, you know what? Let's just do it all. Let's do them all.
Might as well, except for
Yeah, except for there's a little um
cheeky question in there
Oh,
that we'll skip.
the Colorado one.
yeah, we'll see, we'll answer the Colorado one for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
But and then after that we'll get into a preview as always of the next game against Austin. So um without skipping another beat, let's just dive into what we thought about these past two games. Let's break it down where we think stuff happened, and let's just start off with Dallas. Christian, I'm going to start off with you, um, just because I think Marcus is still chewing on his dinner. But give me your thoughts on Dallas. We're going to go all the way back to last Wednesday, and if you can't remember a lot of
Mhm.
things, it's natural. It's been a week,
It,
so
Dallas was a game that, I mean, the reffing was incredibly poor, and that affected both sides of the game. I will say that RSL got away with things, Dallas got away with things, but both teams deserved a much better ref game. That being said, I think RSL got lucky in a lot of it. The RSL's possession wasn't great. It was hard for them to keep momentum. The penalty was fortunate. I mean, Julio is peaking, I think, at the right time in the season right now.
Absolutely.
And
unlike RSL.
unlike RSL, that being said, I mean, there are some players that I'm, it, some of our new players that I'm incredibly impressed with. I mean, the three midfielders that we got, because they all played on Wednesday, were incredibly impressive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got Lachlan Brook, who's the cheapest one, and he knows that he's the cheapest one, not expected to start, and he knows that he has to fight for his spot and fight for every minute, and he shows the fight. I'm a Lachlan Brook fan.
All
I'm
right.
not. Now I do like Dominic Marchuk and Diogo Gonçalves. I think they're also good, incredibly good players. But Lachlan Brooks' rate of work has impressed me the most out of the three so far. Natural talent, Dominic, for sure. Dominic has more natural talent, better read of the game, but Lachlan Brook does make up for that partially with his work rate. Now, I know Marcos is absolutely in love with Dominic, so I'll let him talk about his
Absolutely.
crush there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
got
want to
I
hear
got
this.
I got a big man crush for Dominic when he came into the game. I was kind of going. Oh no, when he came off the game, I was a little upset. I was like, why? Why? He's having such a great game. That lead up to that assist. Whoo, whoo. But I just want to touch on Anderson Julio. That shot. Well, first off, that assist from Gavin Beavers. Not that often you see a keeper just find your striker like that. And they everybody at first thought it was gonna be handball because it just ball landed right between Anderson Julio's arms, chests it, sees the keeper off his line. We see this so often in the MLS where we see goals from that far out. And is it just keepers aren't timing it, or what do you think that the reason is behind that?
Well, I mean, I
It,
can't say
it,
much to it, to be honest. I
it,
don't
it
know.
just seems like it happens so often, which is kind of sad. We don't
Yeah.
compared to other leagues.
Social media, you see all the time, oh, that's just an average MLS goal. When if those same goals happened in like the Premier League or La Liga, there's a Puskas
Yeah.
nominee. Uh,
Oh, like yes. I don't know why that hit me so hard, but yes. Why don't we call out Puskas for any of these long range goals? I mean, wow, nice
Yeah.
point.
if that's the case, RSL should have two Puskas nominees this year.
Uh, Naturally, I mean, if we try to if we're gonna start comparing, well, this stuff wouldn't happen in the EPL and whatever. Look, David Beckham scored at half field goal. What was it, 95, 96, whatever. I mean,
Tim Howard scored a full field goal
Facts.
at
Facts.
Everton, yeah.
at
It's
Everton.
true. True.
He didn't
So
even celebrate that goal.
hey, well, I think afterwards he said that he felt bad, so that's why he didn't
Yeah.
celebrate or something like that.
Hmm.
But interesting point, Christian. Interesting point. Margo, sorry to cut you off if you had more thoughts.
No, no. This is just another game. I'm glad to see Anderson Julio step up. Obviously, Chicho being in the slump that he has been wasn't in for this game, but glad to see it's just that next man up mentality and very, very. I know I was already gonna be impressed before with Dominic, but that lead up, just being able to spot out Anderson Julio, he he is gonna be. I don't want to say better than Andres Gomez, but it's gonna be faster. It's gonna be faster
Interesting.
Ooh, that's a nice hot
because
take.
everybody thought that it was gonna take some time for him to match the level of Andres Gomez, but I think he's almost there.
Ooh, that's bold.
What in the
I don't think
what?
he's there yet.
Maybe,
He's
just
not there yet.
just a
It
few more games, I
it's
feel like.
been two games, Marcos.
Hey, I
Mm.
mean, the compared to the last couple of games where we've had like almost zero offense, these past two games, obviously the Dallas and Portland, have been an eye opener as to the
Yes.
potential of what we could see. I think that's what you're referring to, Marcos. Is just the what we
Ba-
could see.
yeah,
I
because the dude's only 20 years old. And he's already
Really?
getting called up. Yeah, 20 years old, getting called up to the Polish national team. So he's got potential.
has he
He's
made a
got
senior debut? I
I think
not
think
quite.
so.
the U20s.
I think it's just been the U20s so far.
So,
Well,
but I mean, that being said, I absolutely do agree. RSL's offensive production over the past two games has been exactly what we needed.
But something else that I wanted to talk about was right before halftime. I think everybody's frustration with Jesus Ferreira. It's just a simple thing that you learn in any soccer from rec to club to high school, whatever. That when a free kick happens, step in front of the ball. When your keeper's not ready and nothing happened of the sort.
yeah, no need to kill a dead horse already, or beat it at least.
Beat a dead
Because
horse.
eh,
Kill
why not
the dead horse. It's a zombie.
kill? That's what I said. No need to kill a dead horse. But I think everyone that listens to us currently already knows that there's nothing that the referee could do about that.
No,
So
no.
so we won't even go into that. Let's just say there was a lack of attention, and I think that summarizes what's been happening in the past heck ever since we've been back from Leagues Cup.
Well, some people were saying that if Luna was in the game, then he would be the one that would be stepping in front of the ball because we've seen that happen before when it's been a free kick for the opposing team.
I mean, sure. I think if we're gonna get into like strategies of it, it's whoever commits the foul needs to stay until
Yeah.
everything is set. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Matt Crooks that committed the foul, and
Hmm.
he ends up going back to the defensive line to go fulfill his defensive assignment or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Because when you see the zoomed out view, or like at least from like the press box view or something like that, you see Dominic was off to the side with his guy, and he starts pointing at someone. But because I think this is also where language barrier comes into play, he starts pointing. No one's looking at him, and then that's when you see Jesus
Yep.
shoot. So
For sure. For sure.
stuff happens. But you're totally right, Marcus. That was a lack of concentration in that moment, and I think that potentially could have cost us the game because just like what Pablo says, I've come to learn, and I won't say love, but definitely learn that goals do affect games naturally.
Hmm.
It's almost dumb not to say it, but if that goal would not have gone in, or if we would have, it would have just been a normal free kick. I think we would have still had that high momentum of the 2-0 going into halftime.
For
Yep.
sure. For sure.
Because I think did they? No, we went up 3-1 anyways.
3-2.
Um, well, it was 3-1 in the
Mm.
62nd minute, and then they did their second goal in the 88th. But I think we would have had a different, maybe a calm down game, a little bit more. We wouldn't have been so high strung. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like definitely with that goal prior to halftime, it definitely raised the intensity that RSL felt like they were being chased and they needed to get one ASAP. And luckily, Anderson Julio with that assist from Dominic kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. I do want to make sure that we just keep in mind that front four had been the third game in a row that we've seen a different combination of front four against
Exactly.
Dallas. So it was
Mhm.
Julio up top, and then from left to right, Brook, Crooks, Marchuk.
Mhm.
Okay. So then going into the Portland game, that's where we I thought personally that we were going to come out not as different as the Dallas game because granted, Dallas game we were without Chicho and Catranis, right? And the replacements were Brody and Julio. But we
Correct.
also saw the likes of Matt Crooks coming in for Diogo
Mm-hmm.
and Brooke obviously in for Luna. Now, maybe let's touch on this real quick. Do you think well actually I want to hear what your guys' opinions are. Why do you think Diogo and Luna sat even though they were eligible
For the
for
Dallas
the
game.
for the Dallas game.
You've got a team that's below the playoff line, and you've got a couple of players that haven't been getting quite as many minutes as the people that have been brought in to be starters. And yeah, it's just to give minutes and experience because it's one could say it's easier to bring in and have them start and then sub out if things go wrong, rather than have things go wrong with your starters and then try to mop up with not as good players.
Hmm.
No,
Okay,
no, exactly. Going on Christian's point, I think it was more of using players to get minutes, get them get them adjusted to who's playing on the field because obviously we got new guys. You want everybody comfortable with everybody prior to those playoffs.
interesting. All right. Um, I can't confirm this 100%, but I have a feeling that it. I don't think it was for those reasons. I think it was because of the lack of effort that was shown in Houston. Remember that we were just coming off of a Saturday 4-1 beating.
That's true. And I think from what we've seen in the presser from Pablo, Pablo's getting very tired of because
Egos.
he egos. He's implement because I'll say this: he's coaching this team well. He's not buttering them up. He's not giving into egos. He's not letting them walk all over him. He's like, fine, if you're not gonna bring forth the effort, I'll put in people who will.
And
Um,
this isn't the first time he's done it to Luna, too.
mm-mm.
No, not at all.
So I
Or
think,
Diogo.
or Diogo. I mean, actually, no. I think this was the first time that he did not start Diogo since Diogo has been starting.
Well,
And
you
well, and you take a look, Matt Crook's work rate in the Portland game was insane. That's some of the best play I've seen out of Matt Crooks the entire
absolutely,
time he's
and,
been here.
and the Dallas game.
absolutely, yeah. I want to go over to Quinton. I feel like you go to the
Oh
Dallas
yeah.
game, you go to the Portland game. You have many options off the bench. You had Hidalgo, you had Brown, but no, he sticks with Quinton in the Portland game, and I like that move. I was very hesitant. We've all been kind of anti Quinton when it comes to starting. He's a baby draft. He's not that fast, but he impressed. He was terrific in that role.
Now I got my opinion from this past week, and I think it's solidified, especially after seeing these two games, field level from where I'm at,
Hmm.
guys. Quinton, and I'm not talking to you guys because I've already mentioned it, but everyone else, Quinton is a freaking beast. He is fast and he is aggressive. Like I would rather, and this is my preference. I would prefer a Quinton Vera backline with how aggressive Quinton is. I think that
Agreed.
that Quinton is more aggressive, more vocal, and potentially could be a future leader more than Glad.
Well, that was my next question. With the performance that we've seen in the Dallas game and then the Portland game from Quinton, do we feel like Brown has kind of lost that? Same with Hidalgo, that
No.
position? Or do you think that they're still going to go with Brown moving forward?
I mean, if we're talking about a Quinton Vera center, keep Brown on the right hand side, Quinton Vera in the middle, and then Catranes on the left hand side. Let the boys cook. I think that's a
Yeah,
backline we haven't seen yet,
Yeah,
and Austin's a great place to try that out. A
absolutely.
hostile, a very hostile environment, high stakes game. I mean, Austin is. If Austin loses this game, they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
hmm
And yeah, this is the weekend we see the axe come down, and so they're going to come out hard. They're going to come out strong. What better l- backline to prove its mettle, and
Hmm.
what better game?
I might have a different opinion on that, but I'm going to wait till the Austin game. Um, I don't know if Austin's going to come out hard, but I do think that we need to have Quinton maybe try again the center back role, or maybe in fact I'm actually starting to think maybe go on the lines of Marcos. I think maybe Quinton is fighting for a right back spot too, even though who I've never known a 6'5" right back unless it's been a three back.
no, no, it's very, very odd to see that, but yeah, I can see that. Quinton
Hmm.
getting these two starts in the past two games wants to prove to Pablo and the coaching staff like, hey, I'm still here. I want to have minutes. But another player that kind of surprised me in this Portland game that got the start, it was the second start of the season, was Kaliskin. He didn't impress me that much. He got subbed off, and then of course Ojeda came in, and we know how well Ojeda and Nelly work out, but just wasn't very impressed with Kaliskin's minutes in that first half.
Really?
I thought he did a sufficient job for what he was brought in to do.
I,
Um,
I actually thought he did a great job, to be quite honest. I was
I
actually
was, I was,
surprised.
I was pleasantly surprised by his performance. Obviously, I do think Ojeda was better,
Yeah, of
but that
course,
doesn't
of
mean
course.
Khan did poorly. I think that was, I
In fact, I think if it wasn't for Kaliskin getting hit so often, and I think it was cramps, he got cramped up. I think if it wasn't for him getting all that, I think that Portland would not have come back. I think because of Kaliskin, they were Portland was not getting the opportunities that they were needing. I think he kept in check Evander a
hmm
lot, and in fact, we discussed it last week. I uh, I did I didn't mention Kaliskin, but I said they should probably be man marking Evander, and I think that's what Kaliskin was doing with Evander, because you don't see Evander having any effect on the game until later in the second half.
And
And
of
that's
course, who comes in? Jonathan Rodriguez, because we see how well those two pair together on the field.
also. So I think with the level that Calisco was playing at, that's what helped us in the first half. I think the lack of concentration. Well, actually, let me throw in this one too. We see Quentin come out in the 62nd minute as well. So the combination of Quentin and Caliscan coming out in that second half, in the 62nd and the 65th minute, Portland scores right there in the 62nd minute.
Mhm.
I don't know about you guys, but at that point it was 2-1, and we're pulling people off. That yeek. I mean, granted, one of them was necessary. Caliscan was cramping,
Yeah.
but Quinton, what do you guys think about that one? Did
That
did we
surprised me.
did we lose quality on the defense with Quinton coming out and Brown coming in?
I think bringing Quinton off kind of costed us this game because we look at the game tying goal by Jonathan Rodriguez wide open. And I think you mentioned it to me, Alan. You had Dominic that, yes, Dominic stopped right prior to Brown, but then Brown's just left there helpless trying to man mark Jonathan Rodriguez, and he didn't know what to do.
What was I screaming, Marcos, right before that third goal in the press box?
What are you doing?
No, I was like, back post, back post, back
Yep,
post.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Back
Hey,
post.
yep, back post.
I
Now,
yeah.
going back to the conversation of the front four, we see a totally different front four this time, taking out Brooke. Brooke, he didn't even come in, did he?
No, he didn't.
Nope,
No.
nope.
So Brooke did not come in this game, but we have Luna back out on the left, but they kept Crooks as the attacking mid. That was a very interesting choice. Besides the Caliscan one, because when we looked at the lineup, we all commented in our group chat. We're like, "What?"
Caliscan.
But I think the Crooks one threw me for a loop as well. I thought that they would throw in Diogo to try to help Diogo get in minutes with Luna and Marchuk. I think that would have been a good option as well. But what do you think of? What are you guys' thoughts on Matt Crooks getting two starts in a row after supposedly being benched by us getting the number 10?
Yeah, very confused about that. Just because we spent so much money on a DP that we've been looking hard and long for, and we thought that Crooks would be right in the bench from here on out, but I guess Pablo knows something, and it kind of it worked, kind of, but not really.
I don't know. What do you got? What do you got, Christian?
I think it showed our depth.
Okay.
Like I said, Crook's work rate has been fantastic over the past couple of games,
Yeah.
and he was a great starter in this game. I think he was what we needed. And even but here's the nice thing that I appreciated when he and Diogo swapped out, that attacking center mid position didn't lose pace at all or aggressiveness.
No, in fact,
If
I
anything, it
mean,
got a little more aggressive, which is what we needed towards the end of the game.
yeah. Overall, I think RSL had control of the game. You felt the momentum that we had most of
Mhm.
the control of this game. Stats back it up too. We had most of the possession. We had more expected goals than they did. We doubled them on shots, which that surprised me. The amount of shots that we had during the game, just everything was backing up the fact that we were on the front foot, especially in that second half. Second half was just ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is what has me worried, and what has everyone worried in RSL Nation is
Defense.
the
Defense.
defense.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Defense.
You go from the Dallas to the Portland game.
Defense.
What's impressing me so much is our attack. Our attack is awesome because we have new guys in Dominic and now Diogo who are getting goals and assists, which is awesome. I'm glad to see that.
And
But
Laughlin's
not
getting great looks on goal too.
right. But something that you never want to see: 9 goals in 3 games. That's unacceptable. unacceptable. You cannot win trophies if you're doing dumb things like that.
Yeah, I mean we let in 4 against Houston, 2 against Dallas, 3 against Portland. That's a lot of goals. And now I don't want to bring in more topics onto this, but does that put into question Pablo's decision for having Beavers in goal? Is this a goalkeeper problem or is this
No.
a backline problem?
It's a backline problem.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry.
agreed,
It,
agreed.
and it's not even a skill issue on the back line. I think a lot of it's communication and reading the game, which I guess you could say that there's an element of skill to that. But
Mhm.
it's largely a who's marking who's holding the line, who's watching the back post, just basic defense. They're
Yeah.
good at the advanced, complicated defense for the most part for like those breakaways and things like that, but the basic things you defend against, set plays, carefully, constructed build-ups, our team's struggling against, which most teams don't.
Yeah, and Pablo mentioned in the press conference after the Portland game that moving forward in practices prior to Austin is that's what they need to work on is set pieces. Like he said it before, like I'm hoping that by saying it over and over, are we going to see that change on the field? Because we need to, because we can't be letting in dumb mistakes over and over again.
So I have a couple more thoughts because I'm down there at field level. There was a was it I can't now I'm gonna start throwing mixing up stuff and I hope I'm not. Oh yeah, it is the Portland game. So after the Portland game, um there seemed to be some kind of frustration coming from RSL players, and I think I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention at who, but someone was commenting why, and I happened to be talking to someone else at the time, so I didn't hear the context of it. But there was a player asking a coach why, and so maybe to give a little bit more context, I think it had to do with the defensive substitutions. I think that this player thought we were doing well enough and we didn't need that defensive substitution, the Quinton one.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a within the team, they know defensively that they are struggling.
Hmm.
And I think they don't know how to stop the bleeding right now. And I can sense that there's frustration going on the team because of that. They don't know how to fix it. Because how do you fix, hey, be more concentrated? Hey, talk more. Like, how do you fix that kind of stuff? I thought we had good team chemistry. I really did. Do we still, or do we not?
I think we still do. Honestly, I think it's just dumb mistakes and looking over film, going to the field, practicing it. I think we'll get our head straight and they'll be right.
I don't know. I don't know. I just find it kind of strange that I mean we're second in the West, guys. It's not like we're seventh, eighth, and fighting for a playoff spot. We're second in the West, and yet we still struggle defensively. Um, in fact, if you look at the table,
Yeah, well, prior to Portland scoring that game-tying goal by Jonathan Rodriguez, we were sitting 3 points ahead of Colorado.
oh yeah, we're sitting pretty too. Let's add on to that too, because
Yeah, we would have been 5 points behind LA Galaxy.
and three
Which
ahead of Colorado.
and mind you, Galaxy don't play this weekend, so that would have been extra nice as well.
We would have gone if we get a win this weekend. That would have been within 2 points, and the Galaxy players
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
this, or not players. Sorry, the Galaxy fans know this.
Mhm.
I mean, the
So,
players. I hope they know as well.
Yeah, right,
but
right,
I
exactly.
We
I mean,
find ourselves. Yeah, we find ourselves in a precarious position, right? I
yeah,
mean, if we want transitioning to some of these questions that were sent to us on Instagram, um,
let's do it. Let's transition.
I'm taking one out of I'm just taking it out of order here. What
Yeah,
are the chances of a deep playoff run with this team?
let's go with it. Let's answer. What?
Um,
My
I think if we if we keep our backline clean, we don't need just good defensive performances. We need shutouts. If we can
Agree.
get one or two shutouts, we can make a deep playoff run. It is absolutely possible.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going off of the if the playoff started today thing,
It it'd be Vancouver.
so we'd be going against Vancouver. Then we'd play the winner of Colorado and Seattle, and then we'd play the winner of the other half of the bracket. So it'd be everyone else. So
Yeah.
how deep do you think we could go? I mean,
Obviously, it depends upon who we play, next round matchup, all those things. But the way we've been playing on the field, I see honestly second round. I don't see a conference final for this team, but I see second round possibility.
I see a deep run if we can avoid the LAs and
Mhm.
Houston the first no the first two rounds. Like
Agreed.
exactly how if the playoff started today thing from this past week
Yeah, yeah,
with us going against Vancouver and then the winner of Colorado Seattle. If we have that scenario, we make a deep run, and I
yeah.
think
And
that's where we gain confidence.
well, along with
Agreed.
that, I think it comes down to home field advantage because if we have home field advantage, our fans will be behind the team and rallying them for a huge victory for the playoffs. Because I feel like playoffs just bring a different environment, which is electric.
And when was the last time we had a playoff game at home?
Last season,
Well,
Was it?
we played Houston here for the
yeah,
second
Oh,
leg,
that's right.
it was the best of three. Yeah,
And it's the best
and
of three again.
yep,
just for the first round though, right?
correct.
Correct.
So I mean, if we win that first round, that means we're guaranteed to host if we stay in the position we're at right now. So that's why I think it's so important to avoid Houston's and LA teams. Everyone else we can handle.
We can
Even
handle LAFC.
I don't want to look. We got. I
Not
think we
gonna lie.
got lucky. We got lucky this season with snow. I mean, that's lucky. That's
Hmm.
Hmm.
luck. And
Yeah,
then a 1-1 at their place when they were struggling in July.
that was huge. That was huge.
Yeah, so
So were
that's
we though.
we're towards the end of our good luck. That's when our good luck kind of ran out of
Hmm.
steam because yeah,
Correct.
we had that Portland lost and then the Colorado lost on both sides of that tie. So
So here's another question. Somebody they DM'd this question because it was a little on the lengthy side, but it is: do you guys think our inconsistency comes from adding new players or mental shift throughout the team?
I think it's mental. Teams add and subtract players all the time and still perform well. I mean, yeah, but let's look at Europe. You've got Bayern Munich's, Manchester City, Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid's. They add and subtract great players all the time and still consistently perform relatively well. Yes, Manchester United's going through a slump, but historically, they're one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
And they consistently add and detract players all the time and don't struggle. It's got to be a mentality thing. It's got
hmm.
to be egos. It's got to be the reason. Like look at PSG, great players. Their mentality sucks, and that's why they'll never win a true European title.
It's facts. It's facts. I feel like I don't
Apologies
know
to
if
PSG fans out there.
I don't know if it's as much now, but I feel like back when we had Gomez, they were more focused on their stats and how am I doing on my stats? Am I having more goals? Am I having more assists? And we still see that now, but not as much as when we had Gomez.
So I'm gonna go against you guys. I think because this league is new, new compared to everywhere else in the world. I think because we don't have long pedigrees and the culture of of so much change. Because you mentioned Christian how in Europe people are able um, just change out players because
Hmm.
they have good team, they have probably good depth. Um, I don't think that the MLS, let alone RSL, is equipped enough mentally to handle brand new players coming in and just assuming roles.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's not to say that we can't. I mean, we see other MLS teams that can adapt players, or they've spent a lot of money on certain players, and they're like like immediate impact players. But
Mhm.
at RSL, I think it's a weird combination of new players being added, and because of our youth as a club, we don't have the mentality or the mental shift to um, adapt them into the system as fast. And again, it's going to go back for me, and I hate to rehash it and rehash it, but it's the culture of of soccer here in the United States. It we're still super young, and I don't think we've established ourselves in the world to be that rock of, hey, we're gonna get people here and we're just gonna put them in and we keep playing and whatnot. If that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, sorry. It makes sense in my head, but
Makes sense to me.
I don't know. That's why it's that kind of question is like both for me. It's new players and the mental shift.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, this person we kind of touched on it, but what team do you guys feel like would be our best option to play in the first round of the playoffs?
Who we've got right now, Vancouver.
Yeah, I would want Vancouver, or give me a rematch of the Rocky Mountain Cup. I want Colorado.
Ooh.
Colorado would definitely need to lose a couple of
Yeah,
games, a couple of their
yeah.
last couple of games.
I well, teams I would want to avoid right now are Seattle and Houston because I feel like Seattle is on an uphill.
Seattle,
Yeah, because
really?
They do have some good momentum going.
I feel like Seattle has some good momentum with Rusnak and Jordan Morris. So I feel like that's a team that I would slightly want to avoid, along with Houston, of course. But yeah, give me Vancouver or Colorado.
Um, I would say Vancouver. I'm fine with. Minnesota, obviously, I'm fine with. But I'm okay with Seattle too. I think we have Seattle in the bag, especially at home, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, we I think we struggled a little bit with them at their place. We were in a weird moment, but I think who we have now trumps anything that they have right now.
Yeah,
And so,
Seattle is running into the issue that they've been running the same lineup for the past 5 years,
yeah, well,
and that
because they
lineup is
have
starting to age.
that and their coach doesn't change, and so I have a feeling. See, weird tangent. I think Seattle might be going away from their head coach this offseason. If not, it's going to be
Ooh.
might be during the season. I think Seattle needs a change. Just
It's
Do
like
we
about
think
time.
a certain assistant coach might become head coach?
no, he's not. I think everyone knows that he's not head coach worthy of anything. But
Well, if we're talking,
it's
if we're
also for the
talking,
same thing with Sporting Kansas City.
I was gonna say if we're talking head coaches, there was rumor that Berhalter might be going to some MLS team, possibly Chicago.
San Jose
I
was the
saw
last one.
San Jose.
San Jose, Chicago. Yeah, it would be funny to see Berhalter end up here in the MLS.
Ugh.
As long as it's not RSL, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah, but
No one wants
No.
Berhalter.
I was gonna say for the sanity of the league, he
Yeah,
he
I
can
think
go coach BYU.
yeah, he needs to stay out of any league in the United States. To be honest, um, let's
Send
go
him
with
to
a
Peru.
send him to Peru. Um, let's go with another question. So, um, we've already it's again we've touched on a lot of these a little bit, but thoughts on our form right now, and how will we finish the season? So, with the games that are remaining, I mean, let's kind of take a look at how many points we think we're gonna get.
So we have a potential of 12 points. Um,
Yeah, exactly. Out of 12, because Marcos mentioned that for instance the Galaxy have only 3 games left, so they have 9 points left. That's it. So a couple of these teams have anywhere between 3 and 5 games left.
Mhm.
RSL with who they have left, how many points do you think we should be getting, or do you think
I
we will get?
should
I'm
be
gonna go.
12.
Ooh, ooh, I like it. I like it.
I said should be 12. I
Oh,
didn't say
should
my
be.
prediction. Yeah.
I'm going with a solid 10. I think 10 is a good one. We're gonna get 3 wins and a draw.
Oh shoot, where's the draw?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, yes. I mean,
No,
it's not like I'm gonna clip this and keep
no, 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 no,
receipts.
no. I'm feeling like the draw might come against Vancouver
Hmm.
Oh,
because
that's interesting.
you look at decision day, it's gonna be the last day. Vancouver will be having a lot to play for that day for seeding wise. So
Well, it depends on. I mean, see, now you got to open up
it
their
does.
remaining schedule.
As we speak right now, Vancouver is playing in the Canadian Cup. They also play this Saturday against another rival, Portland.
Hmm. So they're playing against everyone that is the next three games are important for them because they're teams that are around them for fighting for a playoff. So Vancouver is Portland, Seattle, and Minnesota.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's ridiculous. Now, they have 5 games remaining, so they have a game in hand with
correct.
everyone. So they have 15 points possible. With with them getting, let's just say three of those games they win, two they lose. So getting 9 points for Vancouver, 9 points would put them at 55 points. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So the chances of us actually matching up with Portland, I mean Vancouver, is very slim with them having that extra game.
Hmm.
I have a weird, scary feeling that we might be matching up with Portland. I think Portland might be our Houston this year.
Nope,
Oh
nope, nope,
no,
no,
no.
no bueno, no bueno, muchacho.
Guys, we lost them 3-0. We tied to them 3-3. Can you imagine going against them in the first round of the playoffs?
Gross.
Not.
Gross. No.
Oh my
No,
gosh. Knock on wood. Oh shoot. I
My desk is made of wood. I knocked. We're good.
I got you. I got you.
um shoot.
No,
But
it just stresses me out how tight the West is right now. You have us at 51, all the way down to Vancouver at 46. That's in seventh place. That's ridiculous. That is
The, the
ridiculous.
the the margin of error in the West right now is none. There is no
Yeah,
margin for error.
yeah. That's why you have Cincy, Inter Miami, and Columbus who are just in cruise control right now, and they're just like
Quick
they're sitting.
quick update. Sorry, LAFC just scored on SKC.
just
Olivier
saw it.
Giroud,
Nope,
Just
no
easy
saw it.
bueno,
capping.
no bueno, no bueno.
Ah,
Well,
between the two, I'd rather have LAFC because LAFC hasn't won the title yet. That's it. That's the only reason I would prefer LAFC.
I mean, it's true, and I think this would be a good loss for SKC to get some kind of change. Maybe this is the thing that gets Peter Vermes no.
No, but the thing is, if we had LAFC
Oh,
lose, we could have
what
had Cherundolo out.
what poor goalkeeping there. Holy
Yeah, what
cow.
the heck?
That was oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Anyways,
Make Zach McMath on a bad day look good.
but legit, go back and
But
look at that first goal.
that being said, Zach McMath, you're still a very good keeper.
He's still number one. On he's still solid. He's still solid.
A couple more of these questions before we move on to the Austin game. Has Julio been successfully turned into an out and out striker? Is
Yeah,
this Julio's breakout season?
because we saw him as like I guess quote unquote the Energizer Bunny who would only play 30 maybe 25 minutes off the bench. No, I think he's more than that now. He's somebody who's going to be a solid 60-minute striker he's improved big time.
Yeah,
Yeah, out and out striker. But again, this form that he has only been consistent for a couple of games. I say tentatively yes, but I would want to see more consistent production on that end from him to consider it yes.
I do think that this is one of his this is his best year
Oh,
by far.
easy.
Period.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think we're catching him in a good stride, which brings up two more questions before we move on to Austin. Which brings up the question: has Chicho lost his step?
Easy. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that was
I
fast.
actually say no.
Oh,
I
Well,
think he's just had
I
a bout of super ego, and I think he's clashed a little bit with leadership and has thrown a little bit of a temper tantrum. But
Hmm.
and the reason I say that, we take a look at the Portland game when he came in, when he decided, you could tell like there was something in his mind where he decided to play for the team rather than himself, and his playmaking and his selflessness was incredible.
Okay.
His setup for the Diogo Gonçalves goal was that was some excellent vision from him because he could have taken a shot,
That's true.
and the Chicho that we saw during the summer would have taken a shot.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. And because he's made shots from there, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities.
But the fact that he had the vision to just flick it on to Diogo and get the assist there rather than trying to break the record, which from that position and that attempt, he would not have scored. There's no
No.
way.
Yeah. No, so I mean, is he in a slump? I think he's in a season slump right now, ever since July. But is he in a slump professionally? I think he still has more to give. I don't think he's slumped, but I do think he's on the backside. Definitely on the backside. You can tell by his speed. I don't know if he's going to be that kind of contributor next season. To be honest, I think this was his season, and if he would have been kept it up, and we can all point back to his suspension.
Suspension.
His
Yeah.
suspension. Literally, I think that changed everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
That was kind of the decline over the summer that lost his momentum. Absolutely.
Yeah. Last question. Um, are we out of the slump? As RSL are they out of the slump that we were in?
No.
I don't think so. Like yes, we're kind of in that defensive struggle, but offensively, no. Offensively, we're looking pretty. So if we just fix those defensive errors, then I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, but we're definitely
I,
still in
I,
it.
again, I want to see more consistent production, and I want we can't. There's no way in hell we can lose a game from here until the end of the year.
No,
We
no.
can't. A loss is absolutely unacceptable. Honestly, out of the 4 games that are upcoming, we need 4 shutouts.
Shutouts. We need 12 points.
We need
Period.
12 points. I think we'll get 8.
What? 2 wins and two
But
draws?
2 wins and 2 draws.
Interesting. Hmm. You know, I was thinking. I was like, how many ways can we get to 8? 3 wins and a negative draw. um. Well, let's get into this Austin game then, because Austin comes in with a very very interesting situation. There's
They're
a
wanting they're getting Wolf out. The
well,
supporters hate their coach.
there's a lot going on. Just like what you said, Marcos. There's Wolf out. Driussi is pulling a Savarino and
Well,
sending
he's been that
sending
way ever since he's come to Austin.
nah. You're just exaggerating at that point. But literally the past couple of weeks, he has been throwing Twitter messages. We'll call them Twitter messages out at the club. What was it that he retweeted? Oh, flip,
Oh, I need to look this up. This sounds
yeah,
juicy.
oh yeah, look it up. He retweeted. I think it was from a fan saying, "Y'all need to get rid of Drusy," and so he retweeted it. He's
Oh, I do remember seeing that. That's right.
basically saying, "Yeah, get rid of me. I want out." That that shows a lot from your number one DP on your team.
And if I do
Uh,
remember from that tweet that I sent you, Alan, I think it's the 15th minute or 25th, one of the two. The supporters are going to be walking out of the stadium in protest of Wolf out.
yeah,
Hmm.
so there's that too. So there's a lot going on with Austin, and let's just
And
heck,
and on top of that, as you guys are looking at that, the last time that Austin won at home, obviously they did well in the League's Cup at home, but the last time they won at home in the league in MLS, you got to go back to July 6th against NYC.
wait, they did what back in July 6th?
That was their last time they won at home.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Wow, what a tying goal from SKC. Holy cow. It
Oh
wasn't Johnny
man,
Russell, thank goodness.
Oh, okay. Well, what wasn't the bearded wonder?
no.
It was Tommy.
Tommy Boy, good old Tommy Boy. So
So
you
so here's the retweet from Drew. See, I found it. He re
It's been deleted off of his account.
but someone screenshot it, so I see it right
Mhm.
here. It says, I think it's time to move on from Driussi and find a decent 10 in the market. So far, so good this first half. And Driussi wasn't playing, I think, in that game. So he retweeted that, and then he retweeted another tweet that said, "Trade Seba, fire Josh."
Ooh.
Ooh, they got
Ooh.
spicy. This is spicy in that locker room. Ooh, lots of drama over there.
So with all that in context, and obviously for those that don't know names, the tweet was trade Sebastian Driussi and fire Josh Wolf. So
Yeah, yeah.
he himself wants to be traded and to fire the coach. So with all that said and done, how do you think RSL is going to fare against Austin?
Well, I looked at stats wise because, as you know, I love stats. Austin is the worst team in the MLS when it comes to shots on goal. So they are not an offensive team whatsoever because you look at Jossie Zardes, 3 goals on the season. Two of those came in that NYC FC game in their last home win.
Oh, has
And of
Justin
course,
has Justin even played much this season?
he played in their last game against Houston and where they lost. He got subbed off in the 75th minute.
I mean, let me take a look at this lineup right now. Oh, what the heck? Juicy was playing.
Yep.
Yeah, Drusy, Gallagher, Bukari, Zardes up top.
And to be honest, it name wise, if we're dropping names,
Yeah,
Z-
it's a solid four.
Zardes, Drusi, Bukari, Ring.
Yeah. Alex Ring has been solid since his NYC days.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you got Stuver who has 7 clean sheets on the season. So all around solid players, but nobody is gelling with each other on that field.
Hmm. Does this sound like RSL 2022? Maybe RSL pre Chicho?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because we before Chicho, we didn't have bad names. It's
Mm-mm.
just that nothing was gelling. Um, so having all this with Austin, they put up a pretty good fight against Houston. We didn't, but do we see any kind of resistance or hard resistance with Austin with who we have coming out? In fact, we can also go into that. Who do you guys think would be coming out? Let's talk about a little bit about the lineup because if we've changed the front four games in a row, what do you guys think the front four is going to look like this game?
I think exactly like it was, except swap out Chicho for Julio.
I agree with Christian because no better time than in this Austin game to get Chicho back, his momentum, his confidence back, because you have Austin who's below the playoff line. They're struggling hardcore, so why not?
Do you see a Gonsalves playing instead of Crooks?
I'd say
Do we
maybe it depends on how practice goes.
Yeah.
So when Marcos does his scouting run, we'll know better.
No,
I mean,
because we see how well that chemistry is when Chicho and Diogo are on the field together because they pair so nicely.
we see that when we did the poll of which front four out of the past four games everyone has liked,
Yeah.
um, the most popular answer was this past game against Portland with
Hmm.
Julio up top, Crooks, Luna, and Markchuk. Now we can add on because we haven't seen it: Chicho, Diogo, Luna, Marchuk.
I'd be
That
okay with that too.
Yeah, because when we signed these players, that's what I was hoping for to be our starting four.
So then, is it you think this game should be the game to do it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I guess this is like our pre predictions, but I think this is the game. If Chicho starts, this is the game that he breaks the record because
You gotta quit saying it, man. You keep jinxing it.
Yeah, you said it last week too. It's like, yep, this has to be the game that
No,
Chicho.
no, 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 no,
It's
no,
been
no.
every game that Chicho's played in. This is
So,
it. This is
so
the game. I
am,
said
am,
this is the game.
am I the problem?
This is the
Uh,
one. This is it.
Adrian.
Oh my gosh. What? Yeah, this is and Marcos, sorry, I'm going back to you mentioned that the Austin fans are going to plan on doing a walkout in this game.
yeah, tell
Yeah.
us about that.
Yeah, from what I read in a tweet, it looks like about 15th, 20th minute, the supporters are going to walk out in protest of Wolf out. So
Interesting.
Hmm. It, it,
if that
I
happens, that'll be huge because it will be very, very empty and lonesome without their supporters because we see how strong of a supporters group they have on that wall.
um how I we haven't done anything like that at RSL as far as I remember. We've never done the fans have never
No,
done a walkout where at least
no,
the supporter section.
we've had plenty of coaches that we've hated over the several years, but nothing of the sort.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how it's going to affect the team, but I can imagine that it's not going to be any good, especially if Drusy is playing. I don't I don't expect Drusy to play, especially after what he did this past weekend.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
But you never know. I don't see a struggle with RSL against Austin. I really don't. But again, it shouldn't be a struggle. But we
No.
struggled against San Jose.
Last year when we went to Austin, who scored 2 goals against them? Rubio Rubin. So anything can happen.
I want Rubio Rubin back.
No, 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 no.
All right, let's get into this then. Prediction time. All right,
Ooh.
Marcos, I'll let you go this time.
Okay, okay. Like this is gonna be, I guess, want to say a gimme game. This should be an easy 3 points. 2-0. RSL on the road.
Easy. 2-0. Christian?
I also think we're gonna have high offensive production. However, I think we're going to slip up defensively, so I say a 3-1 win.
Dang, I'm glad you read my mind. Um, I will then modify mine a little bit. And Chicho's gonna score a goal. Um, this is gonna be 3-0 for me. We're gonna get the shutout on this one. I mean, just
Okay.
because.
Prove me wrong. Like seriously. Defensively, prove me wrong.
There you go. Challenge accepted. Do it. Do it.
I hope that Saturday is the game that we finally get a clean sheet. I want no more dumb mistakes.
No, you're wanting Chicho to flip and score a goal. That's what you're wanting. Oh my gosh, guys, this has been a hoop. So let's give our final thoughts, Christian.
We are it's do or die. We have qualified for the playoffs. Awesome. We need to play for a good seed. That we control our playoff future 100%. We can as long as we secure a high seed, we'll be fine.
Awesome, Marcos.
Respect the officials.
What?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a
Refs are people too.
You're a weird person, but yes, you're right.
And like all people, they should be subject to criticism, however, be respectful about it.
Also true.
Facts.
Guys, this has been a good one. This is I sense a there's positivity in the air, and I think we should be riding that wave. Yeah, everyone just kumbaya the rest of the season, but exactly what Christian said. We need to get all these points. We need to get all of them, and we should be aiming, obviously, for home field advantage. So, guys, with all of this, Margos, send us off.
If you guys are not already, head over to Instagram, head over to Twitter, follow us at the RSL Bros, listen to us wherever you catch your podcast on Spotify or Apple, and watch us on YouTube.
You almost have that scripted down. Guys, until next
Absolutely.
week when we next week,
We got 2 games.
2 games. So get ready. This is
Take
gonna
care,
buckle up.
guys.
Bye.
Woo!